What up, cucks? It's your boy, the Hater. And I wanted to do this video because it goes well with the previous video that I did, which was, of course, that the Wyatt Six is going to suck ass as a group, right? We've already established why that is, so I'm not going to bore anybody by restating any concepts. They're jobbers, motherfucks. That's the long and short of it. They're jobbers. But this video is about Bray Wyatt. And I want to dispel this notion that Bray Wyatt is a legend. Bray Wyatt is not a legend. Now, Bray Wyatt was a main eventer. You know, he was presented as a main eventer. I would put him as being presented on the same level as Kane, right? Kane's obviously better, and Kane had multiple iterations in his career. Bray Wyatt is like, if you had Kane for the first, 3 years of Kane, right? Kane was a champion. Bray Wyatt was a champion. They both wore masks at times. And Kane was presented as this, overcomable heel, right? So it's like, yes, Kane is going to destroy Scotty 2 Hotty, but The Rock is going to beat Kane. Stone Cold is going to beat Kane. The Undertaker is going to beat Kane, right? That's the same thing with Bray Wyatt. Sure, he can beat LA Knight in a Mountain Dew match, but when it comes down to, Bray Wyatt in any capacity versus Randy Orton, he's just getting jobbed out to Randy Orton 19 times in a row. That's how it is, and that's how it's going to be. Now, with all that in mind, let's get to the actual topic at hand about why Bray Wyatt sucks, because I just did an overview here. So, Bray Wyatt, in my personal opinion, fundamentally sucks for a couple of reasons. Number one, Bray Wyatt was, I'm going to say he was good in the ring. I have to say that. That's probably true. He was good in the ring. He could move. He had fun moves and everything else. And he had innovative things, like he did the crab walk and everything else. That was kind of nice. But what else did he actually do, right? From the perspective that he gets the most credit for, right? The character work and the promos, in my opinion, he was a solid 0 out of 100, right? And I know that seems harsh and it seems like I'm being hyperbolic, but I'm not. Here's the truth, motherfucks. And you're going to hear it here first. Bray Wyatt never had a gimmick. Wow. What a bold and hot take that your boy just made. He never had a gimmick. He had this pseudo gimmick that he's this retard from the woods, right? But his gimmick did not differ at all from any other retard in the woods, including Mercy the Buzzard, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, or Huskus the Pig. These are not gimmicks. The Fiend is not a gimmick. The Fiend is just Bray Wyatt saying, I'm scarier than you thought. It's not a gimmick. Bray Wyatt, the character, started out with a gimmick, right? In NXT, he was the cult leader. You have the rocking chair. And basically, Rowan and Harper were his sons, right? They were a family, right? They weren't brothers. They were his sons. He was the patriarch, and he controlled the family. Now, this started out really well. This started out as a gimmick, right? But quickly, the wheels of the gimmick fell off, whether on purpose or by accident. The reality is that once Bray Wyatt made his debut in the main roster and he attacked Kane, from that point forward, nothing else happened. Nothing happened, motherfucks. He never explained who he was. He never explained why he was doing what he was doing. He just said dumb shit. Now, when he was in NXT, Bray Wyatt would cut the same kind of promos, but he would give little hints as to what he is, right? Now, I know what some of the neckbeards that are watching this video are thinking. If you paid attention, you'd know that there's lore that involves Bray Wyatt. No, there isn't, cucks. No, there isn't. This is the same kind of argument that's made with, games like Bloodborne and Elden Ring, right? Where it's if you read everything, you're going to figure it out. I don't give a shit, right? I don't give a shit. I'm going to play the game to kill things, and I'm not going to, learn the lore of Elden Ring. I don't have time for that shit. That's for children, motherfuckers. Now, with respect to Bray Wyatt, people want to look into things too deeply. They're like, oh, Huskus the Pig was obviously a play on him being Husky Harris. Okay, great. So what? What else? What was the point of Huskus the Pig? Oh, there's a character called Ramblin' Rabbit. And now, motherfucks, Eric Rowan has to face the indignity of being Ramblin' Rabbit. Think about what we're saying here. Think about what the fuck I just said. Think about the words that came out of my mouth. Eric Rowan has to now play the role of, drum roll, Ramblin' Rabbit. None of these things were ever explained. Nobody took the time to explain to anybody that's watching why Bray Wyatt and those two morons that he would hang out with were even in wrestling. Why are you here? What is it that you're trying to do? He's like, man, I live in the darkness, man. And Sister Abigail, she pulled us out. And then like Eric Rowan would nod his head like, shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? And then they're like, the black sheep of the family, Strowman. And he would always like huff and puff. He'd be like, yeah, man. You know, like shut the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? Like enough of this. You know, anyone but you, Roman. Why? Why anyone but Roman? Why are you going after John Cena? Let's put a bookmark on that. None of that shit was explained. Then Bray Wyatt got a second chance to explain himself. He became like the fucking daytime children's show guy, right? And that was a waste of time. I don't care what anyone says. First, he would go out there, act like a retard. He's like, do the muscle man dance, right? And then a puppet of Vince McMahon would show up, and then he would like break kayfabe by basically being like, Vince didn't believe in me. Like, oh yeah, he was right. He was right, motherfuckers. Vince McMahon was right all along not to believe in Bray Wyatt, you know? A lot of people say, well, Bray Wyatt should have this and Bray Wyatt should have that. Now, aside from the fact that he passed away, which is, you know, obviously, a misfortune, we're not going to assume that was going to happen. He wasn't doing anything to get himself over, right? The amount of effort that has been put historically on Bray Wyatt getting over and the payoff from it is completely imbalanced, right? They have spent thousands of dollars like creating a set that's a children's TV show. And all of a sudden, inexplicably, Bray Wyatt is now hosting a TV show. Why? Like, just look at it from a kayfabe perspective. Why is Vince McMahon or Triple H or whoever the fuck is in charge, Kevin Dunn, why are they allowing this? Why is one of their wrestlers pretending to have a children's show and they're just okay with it? Hey, wait a second. Weren't you a retard from the woods? I have a show now. Okay, here's 15 minutes to waste. Then, in that show, he tried to introduce these characters. Ramblin' Rabbit, Mercy the Buzzard. It's a bunch of like stupid ass shit. Then what happened? The underpinnings of all this were that something sinister is happening here. And that sinister thing is the Fiend. Then the Fiend debuts. And kudos to the Fiend for having the, what's it called? The mandible claw as a finisher, right? He understood that he at least needs some new moves. That was the only new move. Beyond that, it was just Bray Wyatt in a mask. So, why is the Fiend more powerful than Bray Wyatt? It's that same stupid-ass Finn Balor, Demon Finn Balor thing, where all of a sudden, oh, he goes into a dark place. Oh, really? Why doesn't Tozawa go into a dark place? Why is it that some wrestlers have the capacity to go into a dark place and others don't? And why is it that it's never someone awesome that goes into a dark place? Why doesn't Can you imagine Drew McIntyre with like a demon gimmick? He would like destroy everybody one by one. But they don't give that to Drew McIntyre. They give that exclusively to people like Bray Wyatt. Now, all that being said, the Fiend failed miserably. He had a few runs, but nothing came of it, right? The most memorable thing the Fiend did was that stupid-ass program with Cena. And, like, that was just, in my opinion, that and the Boneyard match are two of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. That's like why wrestling is failing, because you have a thing where John Cena's wearing an NWO shirt and 5 different versions of Bray Wyatt, five different versions of John Cena. No, unacceptable. So after that was a colossal failure, Bray Wyatt goes away, only to come back again. And now, it's the same fucking thing. It's the same thing. He's like, the darkness lives within me. I don't want it to get out. Like, why not? This whole time you were all about that. Now you don't want it to get out. Okay. But Uncle Howdy's bringing it down to me. Uncle Howdy, he's going to come and they're going to ruin me. Great. Then, we don't see anything with Uncle Howdy. Bray Wyatt has a Mountain Dew match. The match is garbage. The match is a failure. Then, he's gone again. Before he died, he left again, right? So, think about that. What is it about Bray Wyatt that makes him a compelling character? In my personal opinion, it's absolutely nothing. And as a result of that, the fact that they're still, rest in peace, they're still trying to push Bray Wyatt down our throats even after he's dead, tells you all you need to know. This company's out of ideas, and the Wyatt Six are going to be a colossal failure. If and only if Bray Wyatt had gotten over, maybe they'd have a chance. Bray Wyatt was never truly over. Nobody ever gave a shit. People were excited because every 2 years this guy would come up with a quote-unquote new gimmick, which was the same thing as before, and people are too stupid to realize that it's the same thing. The Fiend would come out with a lantern, and instead of a lantern, it'd be a lantern shaped like Bray Wyatt's head. Wow. Why? What is the Fiend? What is Uncle Howdy? What is it? Why is his family all retorted? Exactly, Cucks. That's all I gotta say about that.